Welcome to Wisdom-Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2793 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom-Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. The title for today's Wisdom-Trek is The Priest King of the Cosmos, the Coronation of the Ultimate Human. Today, we arrive at what might be the most significant mountain peak in the entire Old Testament. We are standing at the base of Psalm 110, and we will be trekking through the entire psalm, verses 1 through 7, in the New Living Translation. In our previous journey through Psalm 109, we stood in a courtroom. We saw David as a defendant, surrounded by accusers. We saw him destitute, weak, and pleading for help. That psalm ended with a vision of God standing at the right hand of the poor to save him. But today, the scene shifts dramatically. The courtroom is gone. The weakness is gone. Psalm 110 opens the door to the throne room of the universe. We are no longer looking at a needy human King David. We are looking at a divine figure who is invited to sit at the right hand of Yahweh himself. This short psalm, only 7 verses long, is the most frequently quoted Old Testament chapter in the New Testament. Jesus quoted it to stump the Pharisees. Peter quoted it on the day of Pentecost. The author of Hebrews built his entire theology of the priesthood around it. Why? Because this psalm unveils the mystery of the Messiah. It reveals a figure who is both a conquering king and an eternal priest, a combination that was legally impossible under the law of Moses. It gives us a glimpse into the divine council, where the Father invites the Son to rule over the chaos of the nations. So, take off your sandals, for we are standing on holy ground. Let us listen to the conversation between the Father and the Son. The first segment is The Oracle of the Throne, the Two Powers in Heaven. Psalm 110, verse 1. The Lord said to my Lord, "Sit in the place of honor at my right hand until I humble your enemies, making them a footstool under your feet." The psalm begins with an explosion of theological depth. The Lord said to my Lord. In the Hebrew text, this reads, "The oracle of Yahweh to my Adonai." David, the king of Israel, is writing this. He is the highest human authority in the land, yet he is eavesdropping on a conversation in the heavenly realm. He hears Yahweh, God the Father, speaking to someone David calls my Lord, Adoni. Who could possibly be David's Lord? David had no human superior. This is the question Jesus asked the Pharisees in Matthew 22. If the Messiah is merely David's son, a human descendant, why does David call him Lord? The answer lies in the divine council worldview. David is seeing a figure who is human, yet more than human. He is seeing the co-regent of the cosmos. He is seeing the visible manifestation of the invisible God, the second person of the Trinity. And look at the invitation Yahweh gives. Sit in the place of honor at my right hand. To sit at the right hand is to share the authority of the throne. No angel ever sat there. No human king ever sat there. This space is reserved for the one who shares the divine essence. This is the coronation of the Messiah. But notice the condition of the world. Until I humble your enemies, making them a footstool under your feet. This implies that while the king is enthroned, there are still enemies in rebellion. The war is not over, but the outcome is decided. The imagery of the footstool is ancient. Victorious kings would literally place their feet on the necks of defeated rivals. This is a promise of total subjugation. Yahweh is promising Adonai that every force of chaos, every rebel god, every demon, and every wicked nation will eventually become nothing more than a piece of furniture for his feet. The second segment is the scepter of Zion ruling in the danger zone. Psalm 110, verses 2 through 3. The Lord will extend your powerful kingdom from Jerusalem. You will rule over your enemies. When you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like the morning dew. Now, the action moves from the heavenly throne to the earthly center, Jerusalem, Zion. The Lord will extend your powerful kingdom from Jerusalem. Literally, the rod of your strength. The scepter of this divine king originates in Zion, the headquarters of God's administration on earth. You will rule over your enemies, or rule in the midst of your enemies. This is a powerful picture of the kingdom of God right now. The king is reigning, but he is reigning surrounded by opposition. He didn't wait for the enemies to vanish before he took his throne. He set up his table right in the presence of his enemies, as David sang in Psalm 23. He rules in the midst of the chaos. And he does not rule alone. He has an army. When you go to war, your people will serve you willingly. Literally, your people will be a free will offering on the day of your power. This king does not use conscripts, he uses volunteers. His army consists of those who have offered themselves freely, like a sacrifice on the altar. They are not dragged into battle. They are driven by love. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like the morning dew. This description is mystical. The holy garments, or splendor of holiness, suggests that this army is a priesthood. They fight with holiness, not just swords. The reference to the morning dew from the womb of the dawn, as some translations put it, speaks of eternal youth, freshness, and perhaps resurrection. This king and his army are not weary veterans. They possess the uncreated vitality of the dawn of time. They are fresh, new, and relentless. The third segment is the oath of the priesthood, the order of Melchizedek. Psalm 110, verse 4. The Lord has taken an oath and will not break his vow. You are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. If verse 1 was the theological explosion, verse 4 is the shockwave that changes everything. The Lord has taken an oath and will not break his vow. This signals that what follows is an unchangeable decree, more solid than the earth itself. You are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Wait a minute. In Israel, the kings came from the tribe of Judah, and the priests came from the tribe of Levi. The two offices were strictly separated. A king could not be a priest. King Uzziah tried it and got leprosy. But here, Yahweh swears that this divine king, Adonai, is also a priest. But he is not a Levitical priest. He belongs to an older, more primal order, the order of Melchizedek. Who was Melchizedek? In Genesis 14, he appears out of nowhere to bless Abraham. He is the king of Salem, Jerusalem, and the priest of God Most High, El Elyon. He predates the law of Moses. He predates the tribe of Levi. He unites the crown and the altar in one person. By appointing the Messiah to this order, God is bypassing the Levitical system entirely. He is reaching back to the original design, where the ruler was also the mediator. This connects deeply to the divine council. Melchizedek is not just a historical figure, he is an archetype of the ultimate bridge builder between heaven and earth. The Messiah is the one who can rule the world, king, and cleanse the world, priest, simultaneously. He deals with the political chaos and the spiritual pollution. The book of Hebrews dedicates chapters 5 through 7 to explaining this one verse. It argues that because Jesus is a priest forever, eternal life, he is superior to the priests who died. He holds the keys to an indestructible salvation. The fourth segment is the Day of Wrath, the Warrior King. Psalm 110, verses 5 through 6. The Lord stands at your right hand to protect you. He will strike down many kings when his anger erupts. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with heaps of dead. He will smash heads over the whole earth. The scene shifts again. We move from the coronation and the ordination to the battlefield. The Lord stands at your right hand to protect you. In verse 1, the king sat at Yahweh's right hand. Here, the Lord Adonai is at the king's right hand as a warrior. The intimacy and cooperation between the Father and the Son in battle are seamless. He will strike down many kings when his anger erupts, literally in the day of his wrath. This is a divine warrior motif. This is a Messiah not as a suffering servant, but as a judge of the cosmos. He is engaging the kings of the earth who set themselves against the Lord and his anointed, Psalm 2. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with heaps of dead. This graphic imagery describes the final judgment. It is the decreation of the rebellious nations that refuse to submit to the true king. The heaps of dead signify the total defeat of the forces of death and chaos. And then, a very specific detail, he will smash heads over the whole earth. The NLT says heads, plural, but the Hebrew word rosh is singular, the head. He will shatter the head over the broad earth. Who is the head? This takes us all the way back to the first prophecy in Genesis 3, verse 15. The seed of the woman will crush the head of the serpent, Nachash. This is the ultimate victory over the spiritual power behind all human rebellion. The Messiah isn't just killing human kings, he is crushing the cosmic head, the prince of darkness, who has deceived the nations for millennia. This is the fulfillment of the oldest war in history. The fifth segment is the victory lap, the refreshing brook. Psalm 110, verse 7. But he himself will be refreshed from brooks along the way. He will be victorious. The psalm ends with a surprisingly human image. After the cosmic slaughter, after the crushing of the serpent's head, the warrior pauses. But he himself will be refreshed from brooks along the way. Literally, he will drink from the brook by the path. This shows the humanity of the Messiah. He exerts effort. He gets thirsty, but he is sustained. He drinks from the living water provided by the Father. It reminds us of Samson drinking after his battle, or David drinking from the well of Bethlehem. And the result of this refreshment, he will be victorious. Literally, therefore, he will lift up the head. There's a deliberate contrast here. In verse 6, he crushed the head of the enemy. In verse 7, he lifts up his own head in triumph. The enemy's head is shattered in the dust. The king's head is lifted high in glory. This is the posture of the victor. The battle is over. The dominion is secured. The priest-king reigns supreme. Psalm 110 is a condensed masterpiece of history and prophecy. It tells us that the world is not spinning out of control. There is a king sitting at the right hand of God. He is Adonai divine. He is Melchizedek, the eternal priest who mediates for us. He is the warrior who will crush the head of the serpent. For us, the volunteers in his army, this gives us incredible confidence. We are not fighting a losing battle. We are serving a king who has already been promised the footstool. As you walk your trek today, remember who you serve. You serve the one who sits at the right hand. You serve the one who has the power to crush the enemy and the grace to lift your head. Offer yourself willingly today. Be the dew of the morning to a tired world, and walk with your head lifted high, because your King has won. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through this Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day, every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.